Very warm greetings to all my dear students. Today we will discuss the concept of questionnaire. What is questionnaire? Let us start first with defining the meaning of questionnaire. A questionnaire or a schedule is a list of questions relating to the problem under investigation. It is the most common type of instrument used in surveys for collecting primary data, and the constructions of a schedule or a questionnaire is a specific art. The framing of questions and overall drafting of a questionnaire have strong bearing upon the quality of the questionnaire. Therefore, it is to be prepared on such a pattern that it evokes the desired response from the informant. Preparing a questionnaire is a technical job and requires a great deal of skill, expertise, and practice. The following general principles should be followed while designing or drafting the questionnaire. Questionnaire should not be too long. The series of questions should move from general to specific. The questions should be precise and clear. The questions should not be ambiguous, it must be clear. The questions should not use double negatives. It is very important to keep this in mind that the questions should not use double negatives. The questions should not be leading questions, or questions should not indicate alternative to the answers. So, what type of questionnaire should be framed? There are two types of questions that can be included in questionnaire. One is close-ended or structured questions, and second is open-ended or unstructured questions. Close-ended questions, it could be a two-way questions or a multiple choice questions. When there are only two possible answers, it is called a two-way questions. When there is a possibility of more than two answers, it is called multiple choice questions. Open-ended questions or unstructured questions is a type of questions in which the informant are given liberty to express their views in a more elaborate manner. So we have defined both type of questions, that is close-ended and open-ended. Let us now differentiate between close-ended questions and open-ended questions. Close-ended questions, it is easier to compare responses, and in case of open-ended questions, detailed and qualifies responses. Close-ended questions is a type of questions which gives quicker and easier answers. It is easy to interpret, easy to score, close-ended questions, and easy to quantify for analysis. For example, if somebody is asking, do you smoke? The answer will be yes or no. But in case of open-ended questions, the questions are detailed and qualified responses are expected. Unlimited possible answers can be there for open-ended questions. It is difficult to interpret, difficult to score, and difficult to codify for analysis. For example, what is your views about globalizations? There may be different persons have different views on the topic globalizations. So, pilot survey and pre-testing. We have already covered these topics up to this. Pilot survey or pre-testing. It is a trial survey which helps to test the effectiveness of the questionnaire on a small group. Means it is a test before conducting the original test, and it is done, or it is planned to test the effectiveness of the questionnaire on a small group. What are the importance of pilot surveys or pre-testing? Pre-testing helps to know the shortcomings and drawbacks of the questions. It also helps in accessing the stability of questions, clarity of instructions, performance of enumerators, and cost and time involved. Now, let us talk about methods of sampling. We have already defined the concept of sampling. So, we will start first with discussing what type of samplings are there. The first type of sampling is random sampling. It is a method where samples are selected at random. In this method, every individual unit has an equal chance of being selected. Means probability of getting selection of every sample is 100%. Methods under random samplings. First one, lottery method. In this method, all the items in the populations are assigned a distinct number, and these are written on identical piece of paper and put it in a ball. Samples are selected on random basis. In lottery, every ticket has got the probability of getting 100% selected. Table of random numbers. In this, random numbers are arranged in rows and columns which are selected on population size. Exit polls. The third and very important and very effective for populations, very effective nowadays, and it is very helpful in analyzing the real situations before the real result. That is exit polls. It is done before the result of elections, and it is used to predict election results. In this technique, a random sample of voters who exit from the polling booths are asked who they voted for, and there is a probability that they will answer correctly when they are coming just after casting their votes. Second one is non-random sampling. In this, all the units of the populations do not have an equal chance of being selected. The methods which will be included under non-random samplings are: first, judgment, purposive, deliberate sampling. Here, sample units are selected consciously by the investigators on the basis of his judgment. Means, if the investigator is biased, investigators will be of a particular views, then he will expect or he will select samples of his own. He will select the samples on his wisdom, and he will try to select those who suits his minds. This method is subject to personal bias of investigator. Second is quota sampling. Here the investigator is allowed definite quota, and he is required to collect the required data from a specific numbers of units of each quota. And third, convenience sampling. Here the investigator collects the sample units on the basis of his convenience. Now, talking about sampling and non-sampling errors. Errors in statistics is used to denote the difference between the true value and the estimated value. Errors can be classified as: first, sampling errors, and second, non-sampling errors. Sampling errors is the difference between the actual value of a parameter of the population which is not known and its estimate that is known. It is possible to reduce sampling errors by increasing the size of the sample. Non-sampling errors, it includes errors in data acquisition from recording incorrect responses. Non-response, it occurs when interviewer is unable to contact person listed in the sample. And sampling bias, it occurs when in a sampling plan some members of target population could not be included. So these are non-sampling errors, and sampling errors is the difference between actual value of the parameters of the population and its estimate. Now, two important agencies which take care of secondary data. Means we will be talking about the sources of secondary data, and there are two agencies which are important to understand their functioning and how they contribute in providing the secondary data. The first one and very authentic one is the Census of India. What do you mean by Census of India? It provides the most important and complete demographic. Demographic means related with people, that is population. Record of population. These are conducted every 10 years. The census official collects information on various aspects of population such as sex ratio, literacy rate, migration, etc., which are used to interpret and analyze to understand many economic and social issues in India, and accordingly plans and policies are formulated. So census are conducted after every 10 years because of the fact that it requires huge amount of manpower for collecting information from the population. And second agency is National Sample Survey Organization. National Sample Survey Organization was established in 1950 under the Ministry of Finance to conduct surveys and collect data on estimates of literacy, school enrollments, maternity, PDS, etc., to publish surveys through reports. NSSO conducts continuous surveys on various problems in successive rounds. So it is an authentic and or authorized organizations to publish informations, data on various topics like literacy, school enrollment, maternity, PDS, etc. So that was all about for the chapter collection of data. In new class we will have different topics to discuss on, and that is, after collecting data, what is required? It is required to organize data. Thank you and have a nice day.